Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. We have a good day ahead of us today, and we have 3 jobs lined up. We've got a house washing gardener. This is an EDDM client. They also booked online. I will say that I have noticed, well, we've only had 3 EDDM bookings. 2 of those EDDM bookings booked through our online portal that we added last month before we did the EDDM mail out. Anyway, we've got that one coming up. That's house washing gardener. Then we're going to be coming down and doing a house wash and driveway cleaning here in Unger, and then we're going to be heading out to Clayton. We've got a 1,000 square foot house out there. I believe it's going to be on well water. It's right on a main road. So I've already talked to the client when I booked the job and I saw where it was. And I made sure that there was a place for me to turn around because I can't park on the street because it's just a 2-lane country road, and I think it's like 55 miles an hour through there. So he said that he has an area where he'll turn his trailer around, so he'll let me know where I can turn my trailer around when I get out there. It's supposed to be in his backyard. He has a specific area. But we are out of SH, and I went ahead, I filled up my mix tank today for today's jobs, and I've got about 25 gallons of mix in there. I would say I use about 7 gallons on average, so I've got more than enough to do the 3 house washes today, especially considering that the last one is very small. I also have one full 5-gallon tote that this is going to be for the driveway post treatment. And then I've got 3 empties because, you guessed it, we need to go to the pressure washing store. We've already got 3 jobs scheduled for Monday, and we will be going near the pressure washing store on Monday as well as today, but I want to go ahead and have my SH ready to go just in case anything happens Monday morning. We're not struggling for time because I booked them kind of close together because I will have been, but there's going to be some driving time in there, so we need to make sure that we are using our time as wisely as possible because, again, I am paying Ben to come out with me on Monday, so I don't want to be paying Ben to be sitting in the truck while we're waiting, in line at the pressure washing store for it to be our turn to fill up the SH tanks, and then we can go. So I want to have that all ready to go. We're not too far from the pressure washing store today, so I'm going to run by there, get 15 gallons, and then I have an admin date on Tuesday, so I'm going to be hopefully installing a couple of new hose reels we bought on Amazon so that when Ben comes out with me, we're not hand winding the hoses. They were cheap. They're air hose reels. We're not going to plumb anything through them. They're just going to be for holding the hoses, and they're $50 a piece. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. I have no idea where I'm going to mount them on the trailer, but I do understand that if we're going to be trying to maximize our time by having Ben come out with us, it doesn't help anything to have constant hand winding of reels. And if I've got my extra water hose on a reel, it won't be so inconvenient to dual feed because I don't have to dig it out of the storage box, unwind it, hook it up, run it through the truck, rewind it, and then put it back in the storage box. It can just be all on a hose reel. So it is currently 52 degrees and a little chilly with a 5-mile-an-hour wind, but the sun is coming out and we're going to have plenty of sunshine today to keep us warm. I think it's probably going to be about 55 by the time we get out to our first job. So just getting used to this fall weather. Let's get out there, let's get stuff clean. All right, we are out here on job number 1. The client asked us if we had time to do the driveway, and we got them on board with that. So we've got, luckily, that 5-gallon tote in the truck, so I can use that to do the post-treatment before we go to the pressure washing store. And this here is the north side, beautiful green. And the HOA issue, you can see, get up close and personal. There's a lot of growth on that, so is ready to rock and roll. A little bit of green back here under the windows, but that's probably just because they don't get any sunshine. Speaking of sunshine, that's all we've got today, nothing but sun. So I'll be throwing up my hood, and this side over here, even though it is cold, I'll give it a quick pre-rinse because I can see some water spots on the siding, but I'll rinse it before we get the SH going. And again, this is the neighborhood, one of the two neighborhoods we're doing the EDDM campaign in, and I actually just booked or confirmed a job for Monday that is a neighbor of an EDDM, so it's an indirect revenue from the EDDM campaign. I'm still counting it though. I'm just waiting on this SH to kick in. I've noticed that our new downstream injector takes a little longer than our old ones, and I do not know why, but when I run it all the way dry, having it out of the mix tank, it takes a little bit to prime, and gonna have to figure out a solution on that until I can get that smart bypass. On the north side, working our way up to the top here. It's about 3.5 stories once you throw the attic on top. After the 12-inch extension on, just to help with the atomization. And we are having no issues at all reaching where we need to be. Yeehaw. Alright, we are still moving right along. We are rinsing the north side now. Came out absolutely gorgeous. Just trying to get all the SH off. And we're going to work our way around to the front. The front, we're going to want to pre-wet as well. We got direct sunlight on it right now. And we are going to pre-wet it, let it dwell for a little bit, or let that sit and cool off. Then I'll hit it with some SH before we do the driveway. I just did a quick tally while we were waiting on a little bit of water. And we are about $300 shy of breaking even on our EDDM campaign with what we have currently booked from EDDM, either direct or indirect. Both put together, we're about $940. As long as that job on Monday goes well, and we can add that revenue, that's where we'll be sitting. Now, that $940 will more than pay for the printing of all 5,000. We've only mailed out 1,700, and we've got about 32 and some change sitting in the garage still. So plus we had to mail out the first 1,700, and that I think was about $430. So we're catching up. And I've always heard, and I'm really hoping it's true, that the first round of EDDMs usually do the worst. So you can't just hit it once, you gotta hit them multiple times. And the more times you do the mailers in a neighborhood, the better your return is gonna be. So I'm really hoping that when we do another round of mailers next week, because we're a little over 2 weeks since we sent out the first round, so we're about to send out one more. And I'm hoping when that one goes out, we will really see some return on this investment, but we haven't yet. And you know, we've got gas and expenses and SH that I'm not even factoring into this as far as breaking even. I'm just looking at revenue generated, like immediate return. So over the next 3 months, I'm really going to be paying attention to how we are doing on these EDDMs. A lot of areas, I don't know if this is going to show up, I don't know if this will show up on camera, but I'm noticing a lot of areas on this house where this bottom lip is a little orange, and I'm noticing it a lot under the eaves And what I'm thinking is, I am thinking that that is red clay. And we've done some red clay here in the neighborhood, or had some red clay issues in the neighborhood. I'm seeing this everywhere on here, and I think this is just dust that has settled as they were building, and it has discolored the siding. But not the whole siding, just kind of down here where it hangs out. They really did a number on this neighborhood, I'll tell you. It is crazy. I'm seeing it all over in here. Every ledge really is holding on to a little bit of red. I've seen it right in this little crevice. I bet you there's a ton on top of that garage door as well. All right, coming on along, I did speak with the client about the iron staining on the house, just so he was aware of it. We are all done. All told, we've been here about 2.5 hours with almost an hour of continual work. I'm sorry, almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours of continual work, which is not a bad day to do the house and the driveway and roll off. So, over here, do a quick video on the driveway. We ended up doing the 2 sidewalk panels that cross the driveway, just so it looks as nice as possible. But, yeehaw, ready to roll. Alright, out on house number 2, and wildly behind schedule. I'll be cleaning this house and driveway. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. But lots of missing paint on this one, and they've got this little spot here I wanted to point out before we got started. But they also have a vine right over here that they asked if I could remove, and said it's going up into their gutters and soffits, and I told them I couldn't, but I'm going to pass along some information of a guy I know who does lawn maintenance and landscaping. And I'm come around here to the front. Let's a quick oxidation check. Mild oxidation, nothing crazy, at least in that spot. Come around here to the front. Ooh, this is the north side of the house. So of course, when the front of the house is north facing, it gets washed a little bit more often, because it is always more noticeable. But pretty simple, straightforward, 1,800 square foot house with just a little algae growth on it, and this driveway is definitely needing it. So this was an online booking. We have a sign at the front of the subdivision and at the front of the road that leads to the subdivision. So I know it was a yard sign got us the lead, an online booking for the win. And when I called her to schedule the house, she said, hey, how much for my driveway? So I quoted her on the driveway, and she said, sock it to it. So I'm here to do that. I'm running behind though. I was not exactly on time. I wasn't super late. I was like half hour behind my starting time for the opening window, or the arrival window on the first job. Then we added the driveway. Then I went to the pressure washing store. So I'm gonna probably be late again on our arrival time, the ending of the arrival times. I contacted that client before I got here so that they know that we'll be coming a little bit after when we said we were going to be there, and if they needed to reschedule, and they said no, they're good. So I'm going to knock this out as fast as I can, as thoroughly as I can, and move on along. I did not bring my sludge sucker for some reason. I don't know why, but it looks like everything's just going to run down that hill, but it might get stuck right there by the porch. So we'll see what drainage looks like for this. After yesterday's crazy day chasing water on every house, and also this morning having just a little bit of an issue keeping up with water at the first house. We are running a surplus. I just can't stay on the trigger long enough on this one, which is crazy. And as soon as I turned the water on, I knew we had a good water source here, but we've got about 150 gallons built up in the buffer. I think we started with about 60, and now we are washing the last side of the house, and we actually just pre-rinsed it as well. So I went ahead and turned the water off at the spigot. That way we're not putting too much weight on the trailer when we don't need to. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this side, do a quick touch up on the front on the dormers, and then turn the water back on. That should run down hopefully 50 or 60 gallons out of the buffer tank, but I don't know, maybe a little bit more. We've got more than plenty to spare, and really I'm not worried about if we run low, because the spigot's going to be able to fill that tank back up. So I may not have mentioned, but we are doing online booking through our House Call Pro, and that's actually something that for over a year that we just kind of avoided altogether. And when we got set up on House Call Pro, they were really pushing, like, this is a good idea, you should use this, you should use this. And I was like, no, because I liked, my pricing structure was, you know, by square foot. So if they had a, you know, 2,750 square foot home, I would charge them our per square foot price times 1,250 or 2,750 or whatever the number was that was their house size. What we're doing now is we're doing block pricing, which is easier for the online booking system, so that I don't have a billion options. You're only allowed a certain amount. And so an 1,800 square foot home to a 2,100 square foot home is going to be the same price. And that seems to be working really well. It's also a little bit easier for me to remember the price of each home, because I'll have several days where all my jobs are the same price. And it's a nice round number, like 195 was, actually no, this one was 230. The first one was 230. And our next one is 125, which is our minimum price. So as long as we just keep up that pricing scheme or structure, I guess, it should be pretty simple, straightforward. We haven't lost the continuity and trust that we have built up with our clients on having transparent pricing. And so they can still go on the website, see how much their house wash would be, and book it right away. And that effectively puts us to where our prospective clients can go on our website anytime, any day, get a quote, and book their service. And then during normal business hours, or after I'm done with a job, or whatever I might be doing, or right away, just depends on the day, the time, I'll give them a call and I'll say, hey, I see you booked a house washing on our website, and we were just giving you a call to get you on our schedule. So there's no sales that they have to worry about, and I think people are liking that. You know, it's quick, it's easy, you get your price right there online, and you move on with your life. So I'll leave a link in the description for House Call Pro if you guys want to check them out. I'm sure they can show you a demo of that online booking. And it's just an embedded link on our website that takes you to a House Call Pro server that has all of our information in it from our price book, and all of that's already built into our House Call Pro. So when I book somebody, it's the same way. So all one system, nice and smooth, and makes life just a little bit easier. Alrighty, all done on this one. All in all, it was right at 2 hours, And some of this stuff you can't rush. You just can't hurry. Like the driveway cleaning. You've got to take your time. You've got to move that surface cleaner at the pace that the surface cleaner goes. It gets done. Good news though is I did call our next client to let them know that we are running behind. No good reason today other than maybe a little bit of greed, where I just wanted to make a little bit more money, and I upsold the driveway, or agreed to do the driveway, when I kind of already had a day's worth of work already on the schedule. But this one came out great. You know, take your time, slow rinse everything, and then pack up. Finally, at the last house of the day, and we are right here on this main road, across the street from this Jiffy store. And actually, when we were approaching, I said, that Jiffy store looks familiar. That's because I washed that house right there. And that's actually not how this client found me. I've been cleaning this client's parents' house for the past, I would say, 3 years. And they referred me to their son, and had no idea that the neighbors had used me to wash their house, and the neighbors had no idea that the neighbor's son, mom, also has me come out. So this one is pretty simple and straightforward. Got the hose wrapped all the way around. Got a couple of these little lawnmower holes up in the siding, but we're also going to be hitting this one little spot here on the back deck where it's just got a little bit of algae growth, where the there's no gutter, so we're going to clean that up for him real quick. And I wasn't kidding, I really have this wrapped all the way around and ready to rock and roll. Did not mention it, this is a 1,000 square foot home that is one of the smaller ones we've done, and probably one of the simplest ones we've done as well. But this is definitely qualifying for wash 2 sides, then rinse 2 sides. It should only take me 45 minutes, and with setup and breakdown. So great way to end the day after running behind. Gonna get home a little late today, but I'm grateful for this client. I'm grateful that we had the ability to come out here, and grateful that we're gonna be able to get it done super quick.